few wages questions just to go through the solutions. So, Carol has a standard rate cut-off point of €36,400. The standard rate of tax is 20% and the higher rate is 40,000. If Carol's gross tax is 10,369, what is her gross income? Okay, so these are tricky, the ones where they ask for the gross income. So we know that she has some amount of money, and on this side we do the standard, and the standard is 20% of the standard rate cutoff, which is 36,400. Sorry. So 36,400 multiplied by 20% is 7,280. Yeah. Then this side we have the higher rate of tax, which is 40% of a number that we don't know, because we can't work that out without the gross. So we don't know what this number is. And we also don't know what the answer is, sort of. So it does say up here that her gross income is 10,396. So if you add 7,280 plus, I don't know, X maybe? So plus X that we don't know, the answer is 10,396. Yeah? So we can actually figure out what that number is. We can figure out what this number is by doing minus 7,280 and minus 7,280. And then we get 10,396 minus 7,280. So we get 3,116. Yeah? And then that's what that is there. Yeah? So 40% of some number equals 3,116. So then we can do the maths that we did in this chapter, in the like for VAT and all that. So we can say that the 3,116 is 40%, and we want to see if we can figure out 100%. You work on the complete side, which is this side. There isn't a 1, so we put a 1 in. We go from here to here, so 40 to 1 is divide by 40. 1 to 100 is multiplied by 100. Pick up that maths and put it on the other side, so do the exact same thing over here. So divided by 40 multiplied by 100. I'm just doing that on my calculator, and I'm getting 7,790. Yeah? So that is what this is up here, 7,790. So then to get your gross, you just add these two. This one and this one. So 36400 plus 7790, and I'm getting a gross of 44,190. Sorry, I'm just working it through in the normal order to make sure everything works, and it does. 10,396 is the gross tax. All right, that's that one. This one, Connor has a gross income of 7,200. His standard rate cutoff point is there. 20% standard tax, 40% high tax. He has a tax credit of 3,000, and he is in class A1 for PRSI. Assume a 52-week year. So it doesn't say it there, but class A1, as in it must have said it somewhere on the page, because you're not supposed to know this, as in you're not expected to know, but class A1 PRSI is 4% of gross. Yep. So you're not expected to know that. It should be somewhere on the page where this question was. So what is his PRSI contribution per week? Okay, so it is 4% of gross, and the gross is 72,000. So that is 2880. That amount is for the year. So if we divide it by 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, his weekly contribution is 55.384615. But it says here that they would like the answer to 2 decimal places. So if we go 1, 2, and stop, the 4 isn't big enough to push the number up, so we just leave it. So it's €55.38 a week. Yeah, what is his employer's PRSI contribution? That had to be on the page too. I don't know what percentage employer PRSI is. So you're not expected to know any of this. It'll be written there. Employer PRSI, it'll be something like 8% of gross or something like that, and you simply just do it. It's a really simple calculation. Calculate his USC payment for the year. So again, like USC, you need the data like what I gave you when we were in class. So I can't even remember. Is it 0.5% of 12,012? Yeah, whatever the rest of them are, I don't even know. So yeah, I don't know if what confused you about this is the fact that you thought you were supposed to know them, but you're not. If they ask you a question about PRSI or employer PRSI or anything like that, they have to give you, that's VAT. I don't even seem to, oh here, there's employer PRSI. See it there? So employer PRSI is 10.75%. So we can do that one. So that is 10.75% multiplied by 72,000. And just do that. So that is 7740. And they want per week. They did want per week, so we also have to divide that by 52. And to 2 decimal places, that is 148.85. It's actually 46, but the 6 rounds up the 4. Was there a USC in this? I think there was. Oh, there. Okay. So if I just use the USC there. So yeah, like you're not supposed to know the USC off by heart. They have to give you numbers like they did in this question. Sorry, that's really small. So if we apply this, obviously we're not applying it to Connor. We're applying it to, oh, weird. That's really weird. We are applying it to Connor apparently. So Connor has 72,000 in his wages. So that's going to be split up into 0.5% of, what's it, 12012? Oh, I was right about that. Then 2% of 9283. The third one is, I don't know if we've enough for this one, but it's supposed to be 4.5% of 48749. And then the last one is 8% of whatever's left, if there's anything left. I don't know if there's going to be anything left. Okay, so 0.5% of 12012 is 6006. 2% of 9283 is 185.66. Now the next one, I'm just going to check if he makes enough money to pay all of this third box. I'm going to add those three highlighted ones up. 9283 plus 48749. Oh yeah, so those three come to 70,044, and he makes more than that, so he does have to pay that entire pile. So 48749 multiplied by 4.5% is 2193.705, or I suppose 2 decimal places, so 0.71. And he has a little bit of money left over for the last box. So I'm doing 72,000 minus 70,044, which leaves 1956. It's all that's left for the last pile. And I'm going to multiply that by 8%, and I get 156.48. And then just add up those answers. So 60.06, 185.66, 2193.71 and 156.48. So I'm getting a total USC of 2595.91. Okay, so yeah, can't do it without the numbers. And what is his weekly net income after all his contributions? So that is total USC for the year. So I'm going to have to, for the last question, I'm going to have to get that by the week. So I'm going to divide that by 52, which is, and this is rounded, 49.92 per week. He pays 55.38 per week in PRSI, and then we still have to do his income tax. So that's where we take the 72,000 and we split it into standard and higher. So I have what? Where is it? 20% of 33,800. So 20% of 33,800, and then 40% of the rest. So I need to do 72,000 minus 33,800, and the rest is 38,200. So these two add together to make that. So 33,800 multiplied by 20% is 6,760. 38,200 multiplied by 40% is 15,280. We need to add them together. So we get 6,760 plus that is 22,040. If we have tax credit, sorry, there's a tax credit, 3 grand. So we need to minus that off. So that is 19,040. And again, that is for the year. So I'm going to need to divide that by 52. So rounding, it's 366.15 a week. Okay, so net income. Per week. He gets paid 72,000, but that's for a year. So I need to divide that by 52. So he gets paid 1384.62. And I've rounded that at 615, so 62. We're going to minus his PRSI. Now his PRSI, so 5538. We're going to minus his USC, which is here, 4992. And then we're going to minus his income tax, which is 366.15. Okay, so 1384.62 minus 55.38 minus 49.92 minus 366.15. So I'm getting a net income of €913.17. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. And like I said, I think maybe your issue was the the fact that it didn't give you the information, and it's supposed to. All right, the last one, Sorsha has tax credits of 2,800 for the year. Her standard rate cut-off point is 32. Her gross income is 45. The standard rate is 20. The higher rate is 40%. Calculate her total tax payable. That's quite straightforward, I think. So your gross is 45,000. Standard on this side is 20% multiplied by 32. Higher on this side is 40 multiplied by the rest. So 45,000 minus 32,000 is 13,000. Do those percentages. So this is 6,400 and this one is 5,200. Add them up and we get 11,600, and then minus off the tax credits, which are 28. So 8,800. And that is the answer to the first one. So the second one, if I scroll down, we can just about still see it. So the second one, Owen pays tax at the same rate as Saoirse. Owen's tax credits are 2,900 and he has the same standard rate cut-off point. His total tax payable amounts to 13,680. Calculate Owen's gross income. So that's very similar to this one over here. Slight differences, I think, but very similar. So we have a gross income that we don't know what it is. We have a standard and a higher. So the standard is going to be exactly the same as your ones. So 20% to 32,000 equals 6,400. And the higher is going to be 40% multiplied by some number we don't know equals some number we don't know. Yeah? We're going to add them together and we're going to get a value that we don't know, her tax payable. So whatever we get, we're going to minus 2,800 same tax credits? No, 2,900. So we're going to minus 2,900 and the answer we're going to get to that is 13,680. Is 13,680. Yeah, we're just working backwards. So we can figure out this number here by adding those two. So 13,680 plus 2,900 is 16,580. Yeah, we can figure out this one here by subtracting 16,580 minus 6,400. So that is 10180. Now we can do what I did in the previous question. So, oh crap, sorry. So that 10,180 is 40%. So 40% equals 10,180, and we want 100%. You work on the complete side. We don't have a 1, so we put 1 in. 40 to 1 is divided by 40. 1 to 100 is multiplied by 100. Whatever you do to the left, you must do to the right. So we're going to divide by 40 and multiply by 100. So 10,108 divided by 40 multiplied by 100 is 25,450. And that's what goes here, 25,450. And then I can add these two together. Yeah, to get the gross. So 32,000 plus 25,450 equals 57,450. Okay, so anytime you're asked for the gross, it's the same kind of maths. And what is Owens and Saoirse's universal social charge respectively? So you're just doing this calculation here. See this one? So you're doing the universal social charge calculation twice. Once for her and once for him. So her USC, she earns 45,000. She definitely doesn't earn enough to go into that third. She'll go into the third box, but that's as far as she'll go. She definitely won't earn enough for the 8% box. So we have the 0.5% box, we have 2%, we have 4.5%, and then we have 8%. But if you remember, for the 4.5% box, I figured it out. They had to earn over this much, see the yellow number? And she doesn't. So we definitely won't be doing that box. So this is 12,012. The second one is, where is it? 9283. 9283. And then the third one is whatever is left. So if we do 12,012 plus 9283, that has come to a total of 21295. So she earns this much. That's how much has been done already. So we just have to minus them. And that gives us 23,705. And we do those three calculations. Now the first two are done already. So 6006 and 185.66. So 6006 and 185. So annoying. 85.66. And then the last one I actually have to calculate. So it is 1066.73, and then add them together. So 1066.73 plus 185.66 plus 60.06. So that is a total USC of 1312.45. That one. And then he also doesn't earn over 70,044, so he's going to be exactly the same. I'll do it quickly, but it's the same calculation again. 57,450. We have 0.5% multiplied by 12,012, which is 60.06. Then we have, oh, that didn't work. Then we have 2% multiplied by 9283, which is 185.66. Sorry. And then the third box, because like I say, she doesn't make it, or he doesn't make it to the fourth box. So the fourth box doesn't matter. The third box is 4.5%. So 4.5% multiplied by, now we know the first two boxes make up €21,295 of the wages. So to figure out what goes in the third box, we just minus. So 57450 minus 21295, and we get 36,155, which we multiply by 4.5% to get, and I'm rounding this, 1626.98. Add them up. So 1626.98 plus 185.66 plus 60.06. And that gives Owen, excuse me, a total of 1872.70. All right. So that's all of them. My writing got much bigger in the last question, but hopefully that makes sense.